Well, hello, hiya, hola, ciao, yasu, salud, ni hao, jambo. Welcome to the 4th episode of the Girl Republic podcast. I'm your international host, Moon. You like my skills with the international hellos? Pretty dope. Took me like a whole 10 minutes to learn all that, memorize it. But nevertheless, I am happy that you're here. I'm happy to be talking to you and sharing my thoughts with you. You make me happy. You do. I hope I make you happy, because that's what we're here for, to make each other happy. So I hope everybody's feeling good out there. I wish that I can communicate with you all, and it's not just one-sided, and it seems kind of selfish in a way, I do all the talking and you're sitting there wanting to respond maybe, and you can't. We're gonna have to change that up at some point. I have things in the works. The mind is working. We're gonna see what we come up with. So yeah, I'm good. Been busy formulating the evil plan. Evil plan is in the works. Can't wait to reveal it all. I just want to go Shazam, bam, everything's done. But it doesn't quite work that way. I have to be patient. I lack patience, I have to say. I really do. I get so excited about things, I just want to do it now. I plan everything out, and I try to keep everything organized and everything flowing, and I just want to skip all that shit and just go right into it. You know what I mean? I like the planning. I just want to get the end result. I need immediate gratification. I want it now, right now. That's why I am a binge eater. I will fully admit that I'm a binge eater. I want what I want when I want it. I want it right freaking now. I want a brownie. Get me that goddamn brownie. Come hell or high water, I need that brownie. I need immediate gratification. And I'm so lazy that I won't even bake the brownies. I won't take the time and go to the store and get the ingredients and come back home and put everything out on the counter and set it up and take the time to put my own touch into the brownie mix and whatever and bake it and wait for it. No, fuck that. I need to go to the bakery. I need to go to the store. I have a craving. I need it now. Get me my damn brownie. I just want to take the box or whatever the hell, bring it home, pour my glass of milk, and even that is way too much to ask for. I don't even want to take the time to get the damn milk in the glass. It drives, whatever. I need immediate gratification. So yeah, I'm working on all these things. I just wish that in a snap of a finger, everything will be done. But it doesn't work that way, right? We have to be patient. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can improve on that, I would gladly appreciate it. I will try to take some advice. I need to slow my roll, because yeah, girl gets crazy. And speaking of hard work, I hope that you have checked out the other episodes that are up, episodes 1 through 3 on girlrepublic.com. They've been very interesting and lots of fun. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. And those that have, thank you very much for listening. Feel free to leave your comments and feedback also on girlrepublic.com. And today we have another interesting topic, and that is how us queer women are depicted in the mainstream gay media. And this is a very important topic for me. And before I really get into it, I just want to say that the first few podcasts I'm dedicating to issues that I think are going on in our culture, things that I have a problem with, things that others have a problem with, people that I've talked to, questions that have been raised, concerns. These are a little more serious topics and kind of heavy topics, I guess. But this is really setting the tone for who Girl Republic stands for, what we stand for, who we're behind, and how the rest of the show is going to be played out. These are the opinions of real women who are not handpicked by the resources that we have available to us. This ain't edited and censored and whatever. This is the real deal. This is real shit. These are the topics that are on our minds and that concern us. So getting into it. So what are the resources for us queer women out there? Well, at least in the US, we have magazines, we have movies, we have music, we have websites. Some of these are relatively new, are still evolving. Some of them have been around for a long time. In my personal experience, one of the first things that brought me to the culture here in New York City was magazines, publications. I remember as a teenager, I'd pick up these various magazines that were accessible. And I would be really excited to see faces that I thought would be similar to mine and topics that would be relevant to me. A lot of them concentrate on relationships, all the other various things that are happening in the gay world, like music and movies and books and that sort of stuff. And the more I got into it, I actually remember subscribing to like these magazines, and luckily they knew how to cater to us, because a lot of them put the magazines into these plastic sleeves where you can't see through them. There'd be like these solid color slips or whatever, so it kind of be confidential. And at the time I wasn't out, so I was really happy about that. So I would be like waiting for my mail to come in so I could check out my new issue. And my mom would look at it and she'd be like, "What the hell is this? Why is it all covered?" And thank God she didn't she didn't open it, because she'll see like big lesbian freaky fest, blah blah blah. I don't know, it wasn't really like that, but I was happy that she didn't really look inside and see what it was. So I'd be really excited to get my issue, and I open it up, and again I look through all the articles and know the happenings and stuff, and it was just, I felt connected to it. I felt like there's other people out there like me, and there's this whole world that I can dive into, and it's gonna be so cool and so awesome and blah blah blah. The older that I got, I realized that the less interested I became. My first issue was, and still is, the type of people that they would choose to put in the magazines. The pictures, the artists. A lot of them weren't like me. They didn't describe who I was, and they didn't talk to me. They didn't talk to me personally. I felt like I couldn't relate to them. And not to get all like, I don't know, 1909 on everybody, but this is still a real issue going on in the world, period. It's an issue that happens in our world as well. It needs to be brought up. It needs to be talked about. I'm gonna take it there. I'm gonna go to the racial stuff, okay? When I look at these magazines, some have tried to be a little more diverse, bring a little different flavor, but there's still nothing really out there that speaks to everybody or even focuses on certain groups of people. I believe in equality. I don't consider myself a racist person. Never have been, never will. I'm a person of mixed race. It's like a contradiction for me to even discriminate against other people. My friends are what I call the United Nations. I have friends from all over the place. A lot of them have been born here. Some of them have been born somewhere else. I have all different types of friends, all different flavors. I love them. They bring something new and vibrant, and they teach me things and introduce me to foods and music and just all this cool stuff. It's things that I really enjoy. And I wish that it would be a happy-go-lucky place and that everybody would respect each other's cultures and differences and all get along. But the sad reality is that that's not the way it works. So